Brian Charles Lara was born on May 2, 1969, in Port of Spain, the capital of Trinidad and Tobago, to a modest family. Raised in the vibrant cultural landscape of the West Indies, Lara's early exposure to cricket was almost inevitable. His father, a former cricketer himself, encouraged Lara to take up the game at a young age. As a boy, Lara played cricket in the streets of his hometown, honing his skills in informal settings before he joined the Queen's Park Cricket Club in Trinidad. Lara's formal entry into competitive cricket began in his school years at St. Joseph's Convent and later at the Fatima College in Trinidad. His prodigious talent as a batsman became apparent early on, as he displayed extraordinary technique, composure, and an unmatched ability to play both spin and pace with equal proficiency. Lara quickly became a standout player in the local circuit, making waves with his performances in school competitions and regional matches. In 1987, at the age of 18, Lara made his debut for the Trinidad and Tobago national team in domestic cricket. His performances at the domestic level led to his selection for the West Indies under-19 team, and he was soon on the radar for a place in the senior West Indies squad. In 1990, at the age of 21, Lara made his debut for the West Indies national cricket team in Test cricket against India at the Queen's Park Oval in Port of Spain. Breakthrough and early career. Brian Lara's breakthrough moment came in 1994 when he achieved one of the most iconic feats in the history of world cricket. A record-breaking 375 runs in a single Test innings against England in St. John's, Antigua. Lara's innings not only broke the previous record for the highest individual score in a Test match, held by Gary Kirsten of South Africa with 340, but it also marked the beginning of a golden era in his career. The innings made Lara a household name in cricket, and it catapulted him into the international limelight as one of the most technically gifted batsmen to ever play the game. Despite being part of the golden West Indies era of the late 1980s and early 1990s, Lara's performances often stood out, as he was known for his elegance, classical technique, and ability to play strokes all around the ground. His partnership with players like Desmond Haynes, Shivnarine Chanderpaul, and Carl Hooper helped carry West Indies cricket forward during an era when the team was in transition, having lost several key players from its dominance in the previous decade. Career peak, record-breaking performances. The period between 1994 and 2004 was the peak of Lara's career, and it featured some of the most memorable individual performances in cricket history. Lara's batting was synonymous with class, flair, and dominance. His ability to bat for long periods, playing with both technique and flamboyance, made him one of the most captivating players of his generation. Among his many feats, the following stand out as career-defining moments. The 400 against England, 2004. One of the most remarkable achievements in Test cricket history came in 2004, when Brian Lara scored 400 runs in a single innings against England at the Queen's Park Oval in Port of Spain, Trinidad. This innings broke his own record for the highest individual score in a Test match and remains the highest score by any player in a Test match to date. Lara's knock was a masterclass in concentration, skill, and dominance, and it was a fitting testament to his prowess with the bat. Incredible consistency in Test cricket. Throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, Lara maintained remarkable consistency in Test cricket. His elegant stroke play and ability to accumulate runs against the toughest of opponents, including Australia, England, and India, made him one of the most feared batsmen of his time. His dominance was not only evident in his record-breaking individual scores, but also in his ability to anchor West Indies innings and lead the team from the front. 1999 World Cup and leadership. Lara's leadership of the West Indies in the 1999 Cricket World Cup was notable, although the team failed to progress past the group stages. His role as the captain during this tournament highlighted his growing leadership responsibilities, even though the West Indies were not able to regain their former dominance in world cricket. The battle with Australia. One of the defining features of Lara's career was his rivalry with Australia, the most dominant team of the late 1990s and early 2000s. Lara faced off against Shane Warne, Glenn McGrath, and Ricky Ponting in a series of dramatic encounters, cementing his reputation as one of the few players capable of tackling Australia's world-class bowlers head-on. His 103-run innings in the 1999 Test against Australia at Melbourne Cricket Ground remains one of his finest performances, securing a hard-fought victory for West Indies. Main achievements and records. Test cricket records. Highest individual score in Test cricket. Lara holds the record for the highest score in a single Test innings, with 400 runs against England in 2004. Most runs for the West Indies in Test cricket. Lara finished his career with 11,153 runs in 131 Test matches, including 34 centuries. First West Indian to surpass 10,000 Test runs. Lara's achievement of surpassing 10,000 runs in Test cricket was a significant milestone in his career. One-Day International, ODI, Cricket. One-day career. Lara scored 10,405 runs in 299 ODIs at an average of 40.48, including 19 centuries. Incredible 169. Against Australia. His brilliant knock of 169 runs against Australia in 1999 in the World Cup was one of his best performances in the shorter format. West Indies cricketing icon. Lara is widely regarded as the greatest West Indian cricketer of the modern era. His elegance at the crease and his ability to produce match-winning performances helped keep the West Indies competitive during the years when their dominance had waned. Final years and retirement. As Brian Lara entered the twilight of his career in the mid-2000s, his performances began to decline. Injuries, along with a series of inconsistent team performances, meant that Lara's final years were marked by both personal and team struggles. However, his leadership remained steadfast, and he continued to be one of the most influential players in world cricket. Lara retired from Test cricket in 2006 after a final series against India. In 2007, he also announced his retirement from one-day international cricket after the West Indies' disappointing performance in the 2007 ICC Cricket World Cup, where the team failed to advance past the group stage. In total, Lara played 131 Test matches and 299 one-day internationals during his illustrious career. His final innings in international cricket came in 2007, marking the end of an era for West Indies cricket. Despite the challenges in his final years, Lara's status as one of the finest batsmen ever to play the game was indisputable.